Hello everyone, this is Ku and welcome to Dragon Draft 101. Today we will look at the basics of Dragon Draft and cover the perks of alliances and unions. Let's start with the most basics first. In this turn-based game mode, you try to defend your ground against 7 different opponents using your best heroes. If you lose the round, you lose health points. Whoever drops to 0 health points loses the game. The damage you take at the end of the round is determined by how many stars remaining on your enemy heroes. After each round, you choose one hero to upgrade its rarity. This option will be given to you for only the 3 least rarity heroes in your hand. To have the heroes that will lead you to your victory, you must buy them from the store with gold. The amount of gold you earn changes on many factors. You earn gold after every round. If you win, you earn more gold. If you make winning streaks, you earn more gold. Getting more winning streaks will get you closer to your victory. Also, you gain extra gold for leftovers at the end of the round due to accumulation bonus. You gain 1 gold for every 10 golds, 2 gold for every 20 golds, 3 gold for every 30 golds, 4 gold for every 40 golds, and finally and maximum 5 golds for every 50 golds. Based on all this information, you should use alliances and unions and combine them with the best trophies to be the winner at the end of the game. Let's start with the trophies first. You gain trophies after facing each of the NPC rounds, which are the first 5 rounds except the 4th one. The 4th one is the one you face against an opponent for the first time. After round 5, you gain 1 trophy for every 5 rounds you pass and facing another NPC round. You are offered to pick one of the 3 trophies, and this is where your strategy begins. There are 4 races you can build your strategy on: goblins, humans, elves, and undead. And the first 4 trophies of tier 1 is basically the buff you give to the race you pick by 25%. The more items trophy raises the trophy count you get after eliminating NPC round by 1, so it means after you get this trophy you will be offered 4 trophies instead of 3. Power Seal gives an extra ability to your heroes to buff themselves for 20% when they enter the battle. Powerful Fists increases all heroes' damage by 1 at the end of the round, and the last one is basically just 7 golds. First 4 trophies from tier 2 list is again goblins, humans, elves, and undeads, but this time they are not 25% stat buffs. They are unions that brings very cool and strong abilities for the race you pick. Let's start with the goblins. If you pick Goblin Union, your goblins, orcs, and trolls gets an additional ability to summon goblins for help. Also, you need Goblin Union to pick Goblin Eating Trolls and Inspiring the Orcs. Goblin Eating Trolls, like in its name, gives trolls the ability to devour goblins, to raise their stats and gain the passive ability Fortitude. Inspiring the Orcs raises the stats of every orc you have by 175% and gives another active ability to your orcs to attack dragonoids. If you take Human Union, your humans get 30% defense against any type of damage and grants you the access to 2 new alliances: A Dwarf is a Mountain and Silence. When you get A Dwarf is a Mountain, all the dwarves you have receive a bonus of 175% to all basic stats, 25% physical defense, and extra 25% to defense against any type of damage. And believe me, it's not over. Also, every dwarf gets an additional ability to attack enemies with their shields, which means the higher defense your dwarf has, more damage your dwarf deals. And if you get silence, your humanoid heroes gets an extra ability to silence 3 opponents. If you choose Elven Union, your elves, Beasts and insects gets 20% chance to dodge enemy attacks. Also, you will get a chance to pick up 2 new alliances, Fury of the Beasts and Whispering Curses. If you choose to play Fury of the Beasts, your beasts gets an additional ability to buff all ally beasts by 35% after each attack they receive. And for the Whispering Curses, your insects gets an additional ability to debuff the enemy it attacks by 45%. The last but not the least, the Undead Union. Your undead gets an ability to respawn as a zombie warrior upon death and receive a bonus of 50% dodge against magic damage. Also grants you the access to 2 different alliances, Curses of the Evil and Deathsteel. If you pick Curses of the Evil, your evil gets an additional ability to debuff 3 different opponents and lowering their stats by 45%. On the other side, if you pick Deathsteel, your constructs will deal 300% defense damage against 3 opponents when they die. The first 4 trophies in Tier 3 are very powerful heroes from different races with different abilities. In summary, the Goblin one is an assassin with a powerful attack-based active skill, the Human one is a defender with a strong attack-based active skill, the Elven one is a ranger with agility-based active skill, and the Undead one is a warrior with attack-based active skill that silences the enemy. Shackles reduces the damage you take from enemy heroes by 1 at the end of the round. Improved Trophies grants you the access to Tier 4 and Tier 5 trophies in early rounds. This is basically just 15 health points. And Random Boost is like in its name, gives you a random hero on your board, 125% buff to all stats. Tavern Update reduces the 2 gold costs of refresh to 1 gold. Light Weapon gives all your heroes the ability Weakening, which reduces the guild points of the enemy when hit. Discounts in Tavern, like in its name, reduces the cost of heroes by 1 gold. And the last one, Digger for Knowledge, reduces the 5 gold cost of gaining experience to 4 golds. Now, the Tier 4 trophies are seriously game changers. When used properly with a proper deck, these trophies can easily change the flow of the whole game. Let's check them one by one. Like in the first 3 tiers, the first 4 trophies are all about races again, but they apply debuffs now. The first one reduces all base stats of goblins by 50%, orcs and trolls by 25%. The second one reduces all base stats of humans by 50%, dwarves and humanoids by 25%. The third one reduces all base stats of elves by 50%, beasts and insects by 25%. The fourth one reduces all base stats of undeads by 50%, evil and constructs by 25%. The next ones are pretty simple. The first one is basically plus 25 HP. Second one is extra space, like its name, gives you 1 more space to put 1 more hero on the board. The third one is Powerful Fists 2, so same with the first one, gives your heroes 1 more damage. And the last one is basically plus 30 golds. Now let's get to the next 8 crazy ones and check them step by step. Let's start with inspiring the trolls and inspiring the orcs too. So Goblin Union to summon more goblins for health, then Goblin Eating Trolls to give them the ability Fortitude and to devour goblins to raise stats. And after, if you are lucky enough, you can pick Inspiring the Trolls to gain 170% buff to all basic stats and an additional ability to attack enemies while keeping all the abilities you gained earlier. And on the other side, after getting Inspiring the Orcs, you get a chance to get Inspiring the Orcs too. With Inspiring the Orcs 2, you get an additional 175% buff for all the orcs while keeping the same buff you got earlier. Crazy, right? But it's not over. You get an additional ability to attack your enemies also. Let's keep up with the humans now. After you get Human Union and start to play with dwarves, you can get one of the best trophies in the game, Dwarf Armor. With Dwarf Armor, every hero you have on the board at that round gains the passive ability Fortitude. Also, your humans gain an extra active ability to raise your dwarf's defense by 20%. On the other side, after gaining the ability to silence enemy heroes, your humanoid gains another active ability, which is to raise wisdom of your allies by 50%. Elves are a little bit more simple than goblins and humans, so basically if you had Fury of the Beasts earlier, you have a chance to get beasts from the ticket, which is basically gives your elves an active ability to summon beasts. On the other side, if you had Whispering Curses earlier, you get a chance to pick Spider Invasion, which is the same with beasts from the ticket but summoning spiders instead of beasts. The last but not the least, the Undead. After picking Undead, if you chose to play Curses of the Evil, you get a chance to pick Faces of Evil trophy, which gives all the evils 170% buff to all stats and an additional ability to attack enemies. On the other side, if you chose to play Undead and Mechanisms, you get a chance to pick Living Steel, which is an awesome trophy which gives your Undead an active ability to raise all stats of all allied mechanisms by 20%. Now, the last tier of trophy lists. Let's start with the basic ones. First one is just 45 health points. The next one gives 20% resistance to magic damage. The third one grants 40% resistance to physical damage. And the last one is 15% dodge chance. For the races, these 4 trophies are the endgame ones, which grant serious unique abilities. The first one starts with goblins. Grants all goblins an active ability to sacrifice themselves and explodes to deal 5 random opponents HP damage with a strength of 600%. For the human trophy, this ability grants every human heroes you have an active ability to heal all allies. Elves get an additional ability to buff themselves for 15% pure damage every round, an extra ability to attack enemies. And finally, Undeads also receive an active ability to resurrect 3 other undead allies. So we looked at the basics of Dragon Draft and checked every trophies step by step. I hope you enjoyed and learned some helpful information from the video. Thanks for watching and please subscribe if you haven't already. See you on the next video.